How's it going, everyone? I am back with another video. This is going to be my NBA playoff bracket or my playoff predictions, however you want to phrase it. Dylan and I earlier today we recorded an episode of the podcast. We basically was probably should have sorted it out better, but it worked out good in the end anyway. Basically, that's what I have uploaded here in these two tabs. Basically, we each went through our brackets. We kind of just talked about the playoffs, just our thoughts. We talked about the differences we had in our brackets. Yeah, things like that. So if you're interested, go check that out. This video is just going to be me kind of, I guess, sort of replicating my original bracket or my not my original bracket, my bracket I talked about in the podcast video. But just like my individual one in this one. So basically, I'll just dive straight in here. So I will start by saying, obviously, we don't know the exact seeding of 7 and 8 for each conference because the play-in hasn't happened yet. As I'm recording this, it's Monday, April 14th. So we don't know the 7-8 seeds for each conference. However, I will do my play-in predictions as well. So I can't update it quite yet on this the ESPN bracket machine here because obviously we don't know for sure until the playing games actually happen. But I will walk through the 1-8 match, every matchup with a 7 or 8 seed in both conferences. I will just talk about it as if it's the team I'm predicting to get the 7 or 8 seed, if that makes any sense. So, let me get my notes in gear here. Starting with the play-in. So again, the way the play-in works, so the current 7 and 8 seeds play. Whoever wins that matchup gets the 7 seed. They play the 2 seed. The loser of that matchup plays the winner of the 9-10 seed. The loser of that game is eliminated. The winner of the 9-10 seed game plays the loser of the 7-8 seed game. Whoever wins that game is the 8 seed. So, that being said, the 7 seed in the West, I guess I'll start off in the West here. The 7 seed in the West is the Warriors. The 8 seed is the Grizzlies. So we have Warriors, Grizzlies. Definitely an interesting, intriguing play-in matchup. Warriors are 0-3 in the play-in. They just cannot seem to get out of the play-in for whatever reason. The Grizzlies actually eliminated them for the play-in a few seasons ago. And I am not picking them to do that this year. I'm picking the Warriors to win against the Grizzlies, meaning in my scenario, they will be the 7 seed. So I know right here it says Golden State / Memphis. So pretty much in my prediction, I'm just going to assume it's the Warriors based on my prediction. So whenever I advance the bracket here, whatever, just assume that if it says Golden State or like for example Orlando / Atlanta, Golden State / Memphis, just assume it's the team I'm talking about instead of the other team. If that makes any sense. Yeah, I just think the Warriors are the better team. They've been one of the top teams since they traded for Jimmy Butler. They're in the play-in because they were hovering around 500 before that, and they blew a game to the Spurs, and they obviously just lost to the Clippers yesterday. Where if they had won that game, they would have been the 6 seed. The Clippers would have been in the Warriors position right now. They would have been in the play-in tournament playing the Grizzlies. But yeah, I just trust the Warriors to get it done. I mean, I know they can't get out of the play-in, but in years past, but I just trust them to do against the Grizzlies at home. They're going to want to win. They do not want to risk a one-game elimination scenario. Of course, the Grizzlies don't want to risk that either, but I just trust the Warriors more. The one thing to watch, Jimmy Butler got hurt. He banged knees with Kawhi. Pause. I think it was Kawhi in the game yesterday, and I think he said he's going to be good to go, but maybe something to watch still. Just 2 days after that happened. Yeah, Warriors know that they really do not want to risk a one-game elimination. They're just going to want to take care of business in this one. So I'm picking the Warriors. They're just in a better state than the Grizzlies are right now. So I'm picking the Warriors to win that first West play-in matchup and yeah, advance and be the 7 seed in the West. The 9-10 matchup, Kings, Mavs. The Kings are the 9 seed. The Mavs are the 10 seed. I'm gonna go with the Kings. I again, no, not to spoil my pick, but I think we're all on the same page that We don't think the Canes or the Mavs will be getting too far in the playoffs here. Whichever team wins, I'm just going to lean with the Canes. I mean, both teams have just had kind of rocky seasons, floating around, 500, finished a couple games below 500. Mavs just dealing with injuries all year after the Luka trade, especially. Um, Canes at home, their crowd, insane environment. I know the plan technically is the playoffs, but it basically is, and it's a one-game elimination for both the Canes and the Mavs. So I'm sure the crowd's going to be going insane. I know it was last year against the Warriors. I'm sure it helped that the Warriors eliminated the Canes the year prior. Some extra motivation to get revenge on them there. Maybe Klay Thompson can replicate his 0 for 10 game against the Canes again. Just kidding. If he goes 0 for 10, boy, again, the memes are going to be insane. DeMar DeRozan is like a playing veteran. But yeah, I just trust. I guess I'll trust the Canes more. So sorry, Mavs, but I'm going to lean Canes in this one. So that means the eight-seeded Grizzlies, and the nine-seeded Canes will play for the eighth seed. I could see the game going either way. Just like I guess pretty much any of these playing games, I could see going either way. But I'll lean the Grizzlies. I just think they're simply in a better spot to win than the Canes if this matchup happens. I'll just lean the Grizzlies. I just think they're the better team. I'll pick the Grizzlies. So that means I the Grizzlies the 8th seed, the Warriors is the 7th seed. By the way, I have an Excel sheet. I mapped out. Obviously, you can't list like the amount of games here. Like obviously, it's a 7-game series, so each team's gonna have to win in a certain amount of games. So I recreated my bracket in an Excel sheet, and I will show you guys the breakdown of that just to get all the details in at the end there. So moving on to the East, the 7th seed is the Magic. The 8th seed is the Hawks. Again, could see this game going either way, but I'll pick the Magic. The Magic have kind of been heating up a bit. Hawks just too inconsistent. Magic heating up a bit. Well-coached team, even though they dealt with injuries all year. I'm not saying the Hawks aren't well-coached. Quinn Snyder's I think Quinn Snyder's an underrated coach, but I definitely could see the Hawks winning. Maybe they shoot the lights out. They definitely have the capabilities of doing that, but I just trust the Magic a bit more. I'll just pick them to win this game and be the 7th seed to play my team, Celtics, in round 1. The 9-10 matchup, Bulls Heat. It's like they're destined to play each other in the play-in every year. This is the 3rd year in a row they're playing each other in the play-in, and the Heat have won the prior 2, and this year it's the reverse though. The past 2 playing games have been in Miami. This year it's in Chicago. Could definitely see the game going either way. Again, I don't mean to keep sounding like a broken record, repeating myself there, but I'm going to pick the Bulls. The Bulls have been hot lately. I know they still finished a couple games below 500, but they've been playing their best ball of the year at the right time. They're peaking at the right time. The Heat were a disaster after the Butler, were kind of a disaster all year, just floating around 500 like they normally do. After the Butler trade, they were a disaster, and they've kind of been playing better ball lately, but I just trust the Bulls more. I'll pick the Bulls. Wouldn't be surprised if the Heat won it all. The Heat just know how to get out of the play-in, so wouldn't be surprised if they get out of it at all. But yeah, I'm gonna pick the Heat in this, or sorry, the Bulls in this one. I believe the So let me look at my notes here. Yeah, the Heat are also 0-3 versus the Bulls this season. Maybe something to take note of. And again, you don't want to base everything off of the preseason, or not the preseason, the regular season. So I'm looking at my notes here as I'm talking. But still something to note, I think. So that means okay, so yeah, I have Hawks, the 8-seeded Hawks, and the 9-seeded Bulls in a battle for the 8th seed. Game could go either way, but I'll lean Hawks, I guess. I don't know. I just think out of one of the 2 single elimination games, they'll have a game where they shoot the lights out. They just play really well offensively. Bulls definitely could see them winning, even though they're hot. Okay, hang on. Let me rephrase this. even though the Bulls are hot and I could definitely see them winning, I'll guess I'll just lean with the Hawks. I'm not going to focus too much on the play-in because, with the exception of the Warriors, I think realistically none of them really stand much of a chance. I think we're all in agreement there. So yeah, basically, with all that being said, just to recap, the West, the 8th seed, I have the Grizzlies. The 7th seed, I have the Warriors. The 8th seed in the East, I have the Hawks, and the 7th seed, I have the Magic. Which bracket do I want to start with? So I'll go round by round here, and I'll just crisscross conferences. Cavs, and again, I know it says TBD, to be determined, but I'm going to assume the Hawks based off my predictions. I'm obviously picking the Cavs to advance, but I'm going to tell you something. The Hawks, I have the Cavs in 5. They could be an interesting series. I don't think the Hawks have really any chance unless, and you never want this to happen, but an injury or just something insane happens that benefits the Hawks. I don't think they have much of a chance, but this could be interesting. They're 2-1 versus the Cavs this year, and they gave them 2 consecutive losses. They beat them, then they played like a day or I think like 2 days later, maybe 3 days later, and they beat them again. And then the Cavs beat them the next time. But the Hawks are a dangerous team, even though they're not great. I know the Hawks very well as a Celtics team. We always have trouble with them. The games go right down to the wire, it feels like every time. And we played them in the playoffs 2 years ago, and it went 6, and they were the 7th seed. And Game 6 was pretty close too. We had to go on a run to win at the end there, but it almost went 7. They almost forced Game 7 down 3-1. But yeah, Cavs obviously just the better team. I think the Hawks will get a game. I think it could be a close series. The Cavs will probably get a blowout win or two, but I think the Hawks will win a game, then the rest of them will be close. That type of series. But yeah, obviously I'm picking the Cavs to move on there. The other 1-8, Thunder, and again, let's pretend it says Grizzlies based off my predictions. I'm picking the Thunder. I have them sweeping the Grizzlies. I could see the Grizzlies maybe getting a game, so maybe Thunder in 5, but I have the Thunder sweeping them. They actually swept them during the regular season. So are they really going to go 8-0 against the Grizzlies if it happens? That's tough to do, but I'm picking them to do so. Thunder are just absolutely insane this year. They're an all-time great team. They won damn near 70 games for Christ's sake this season, and still not enough media attention that they're getting there. I mean, they're just so well coached, just such an overall well-balanced, just fun team to watch. Again, the Grizzlies just in an interesting spot right now, firing Taylor Jenkins. They were I believe, the 3 seed at one point, and then they dropped to 5. That's when they fired Taylor Jenkins. And now they're the 8 seed, interim head coach. A lot of questions about their future. Again, I trust the Thunder a lot more. They're the far better team. Maybe the Grizzlies get a game, but I have Thunder in 4 in the sweep there. Crisscrossing back over here, Pacers Bucks. This is going to be a very entertaining playoff series. Obviously, a rematch of last year. The Pacers and Bucks played last year. The Bucks were the 3, the Pacers were the 6 seed, and the Pacers pulled off the upset. Now, I mentioned injuries with Cavs Hawks. The Pacers got some breaks with injuries. I know Dame missed time. I know Giannis missed time in that series. So the Pacers maybe caught some breaks there. Pacers, I think, they are a very dangerous and underrated team. No one's really talking about the Pacers. Again, I think everyone just assumes the East is going to come down to the Cavs and Celtics, which is fair. And, I'm not saying I'm picking the Pacers to, make it out of the East or anything like that. Maybe I will. I'll have to tune in and see. Spoiler alert. I don't think so. But, yeah. Now I just lost my talking point there. I just got sidetracked. Obviously, the Pacers-Bucks rivalry. Pacers 1-6 last year. The Pacers are better this year than they were last year, at least I believe. And the Bucks, I think, might be worse than they were last year. The Pacers have home court advantage. The Bucks had home court advantage in the playoffs last year. And speaking of injuries, Dame obviously out with the blood clot. Hopefully he's able to return, but I'm gonna. Again, I might be wrong, but I don't think he will for this series. That's obviously a big break for the Pacers. Uh, I'm picking the Pacers. I'm going to say in six to win the series. Uh, they again, ironically, their name is the Pacers, and they play with at such a fast pace. I mean, my team, the Celtics, beat them we swept them in the conference finals last year to get to the finals, but it was the closest sweep it was a lot in a long time. Like it was historically close for a sweep. And the Pacers, the Celtics talked about it themselves. The players, they ran up and down the court, constantly. They tired the players out. It was an extremely tough sweep. Any sweep is tough, but that was an extremely tough one. And I keep getting sidetracked here. But my point is, the Pacers play the pace, and the Bucks. What's kind of their flaw? They're old. I believe they're the oldest team in the league, so maybe that's gonna be an issue for them. Yeah, I just trust the Pacers more. The Bucks, obviously, I think Giannis alone is probably good enough to at least get one win. But I have the Pacers in six. I have the Bucks getting two wins off the Pacers. But yeah, I just trust the Pacers a bit more. Bucks kind of in a weird spot. Is Giannis going to request a trade out of Milwaukee? They're old. Doc Rivers, obviously, he's getting a lot of heat. He has for years and years now. Just a lot of questions in the Bucks. I just trust the Pacers more. Wouldn't be too shocked if the Bucks won, especially if Dane ends up coming back. Even if he doesn't, I think the Bucks could very well win the series. But I'm going to trust the Pacers more to win the series in six. Again, going over back to the West here, Nuggets Clippers. Here's another very interesting matchup. This is an extremely tough matchup. I see, it's weird. I want to say seven. This game goes seven, or this series goes seven. I could see the Clippers winning in as short as games as five. I could see the Nuggets winning in maybe five. Maybe that's a stretch. 5 or 6, maybe more so 6. It's just weird. I could see the Nuggets dominating. I could see the Clippers dominating. I could see it being close the whole time. I could see a bunch of different scenarios. I think pretty much all these games will be relatively close. The Nuggets interim head coach, he's 3-0. So credit to him for that. After they fired Mike Malone, it seems like maybe it lit a fire in them, like it does a lot of teams that fire their coaches in the middle of the season, even though the Nuggets did right at the end, came out absolutely nowhere. All the reports saying it was toxic between Malone and Booth. So maybe again, morale boost. And this is such a tough series for me. At minimum, okay, I know I just said five, but at minimum, I want to say, even though I just said five, at minimum, regardless which team wins, I think it's going six, maybe five. Okay, I'll say five. So, but I think all the games are going to be very closely tight, competitive games. Clippers are red hot right now, though. They're peaking at the right time. They've had a very under the radar, quiet season like they normally do because they're the Lakers' little brother, obviously. But yeah, they're peaking at the right time. They won 50 games, so credit to the Clippers for that. Um, I'm not losing my mind. The Clippers did win 50 games, right? I'm pretty sure they did. Okay, yeah, they did. They won 50 games, 15-32. Same as the Lakers. Both the LA teams won 50 games, regular season games this season. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna very slightly lean Clippers. I have the Clippers winning this series in six. Would not at all be surprised if the Nuggets win it. Jokic, I think, any team with Jokic is going to be competitive in any series. Obviously, Jamal Murray's still there. The morale boost with the Nuggets, firing Malone. But the Clippers are just peaking at the right time. I think the interim head coach, factor is going to bite the Nuggets here. Ty Lue, really good coach. So yeah, I'm just gonna lean Clippers, but would not at all be surprised if the Nuggets won this series. Um, Here's another interesting matchup: Knicks Pistons. So I know I haven't talked too much NBA on this channel, but I'm not, and I'm obviously a Celtics fan, but I'm not a believer in the Knicks. I think they've always been frauds for the past couple of years. I call them the fraud York Knicks. I think they're absolute frauds. However, am going to pick them to win the series, and I know this is going to contradict what I just said. I actually have the Knicks in 5. I think the Knicks will probably get maybe, I think at least one blowout, probably one of the first 2 games, game 1 or 2, maybe 2, and then after that, I think the rest of the games in the series are going to be close. I could see the Knicks in 6. I could I will the Pistons win the series? Is that too far of a stretch for me? Again, I could see the Pistons winning 2 games in this, but I just think the Knicks, even though I think they're absolute frauds, and I'm not a Knicks fan at all, or maybe not a fan, but not a Knicks believer, rather. I'm not a Knicks believer at all. I just I think they're the better team, obviously. The Pistons had an excellent season. They're a very fun team. They more than tripled their win total from last year when they were historically bad last year in their 27-game losing streak, obviously. JB Bickerstaff's done a really good job there. So yeah, the Pistons, they play tough, physical. That's obviously the Knicks brand of basketball too. Tibbs plays his starters like 48 minutes a game pretty much. Just wears his starters out. And also, Tibbs is going to be on the hot seat there. Especially the Pistons upset them. His seat is going to be on fire. And then even if they lose in the second round, which, spoiler alert, I have them losing to my team in the second round, the Celtics, I think he still should be on the hot seat. But anyway, yeah, this I think it's going to be a tough physical matchup, maybe low scoring, more of a defensive series. I mean, I think everyone's going to be rooting for the Pistons outside of New York. Just the kind of the fun story of the year, the Cinderella team this year. But I just think the Knicks are just the better team, and they're going to end up winning this series. So I'm picking the Knicks in this series. Lakers T-Wolves. This is another really interesting matchup. I'm going to tell you something. The Lakers are very lucky that the Clippers won that game. Otherwise, they'd play the Warriors. Now, I probably would have picked them to beat the Warriors if they played in the first round, but it would have been extremely close for me to decide. They still can match up in the second round here, too. Maybe I have them matching up in the second round. We'll have to see. Anyway, Lakers Timberwolves. I am definitely picking the Lakers. I know that the Lakers, they only won one more regular season game than the Timberwolves, even though they have a 3 seed difference in their favor. They're the 3 seed, the T-Wolves the 6 seed. The Timberwolves just been up and down all year. Just obviously after the trade with Cat and Randall, it seems like they went on a hot streak, then they went on a cold streak, and it was kind of like that just the whole year. And again, it evened out to they were 1 win short, or 1 game short of, 1 win short of 50 there. So obviously that's a pretty good season still. I guess technically they regressed a bit from last season, but still they had a pretty solid year. The Lakers, I just think after the Luka trade are just serious title contenders. I know a lot of people are back and forth on that. And obviously, I'm a Celtics fan, so I don't want them to be title contenders. But I think they are with LeBron and Luka, obviously, and they get a pretty good supporting cast around them too. But yeah, I just trust them more in the series. I think the Timberwolves will at least get a game at minimum. I don't think by any means the Lakers will sweep them. I actually kind of want to say Lakers in 5, but I'm going to say Lakers in 6. I think the Timberwolves will get 2 games off of them. I certainly think at least 1, but I'll say 2. I'll say Lakers in 6. I just think they're the better team than the Timberwolves. They've just been more consistent after the trade than the Timberwolves have been all year. But who knows? I could see the Timberwolves making it close. I think the Lakers probably will have a blowout win. Maybe the Timberwolves, at probably one of their home games, will have a blowout win if they win one, assuming they do. I think they certainly will. The rest of the games will probably be relatively close, but I'm just going to lean the Lakers in this series. Yeah, I kind of spoiled it a bit, but obviously I'm picking my team to beat and again, I'm going to pretend it's just the Magic here, according to my play-in bracket. I have us in 5. I could see 4, but I think the Magic, I respect them enough and they usually play a super tight. I think they'll probably get a game where we're just off shooting. Maybe they get hot shooting offensively. Some a game like that. Hopefully, we can just sweep them, get some extra rest, especially with Jaylen Brown's knee causing some concern for injury. Um, but yeah, I obviously, and also if it's the Hawks, again, I would pick us probably in 5 over the Hawks, but the Hawks probably scare me a bit more than the Magic just because they play us super tight as well. And I think their Hawks might be a bit more dangerous than the Magic, but obviously I'm not concerned regardless of which team wins. I'm picking us in 5. I'll give the Magic a game. Last matchup in the first round, Rockets, and again, we're going to pretend it's the Warriors. Now this is going to be an interesting series. The Rockets, obviously the 2 seed, kind of the consensus is, I think, is if they, depending on who the 7 seed is, they very well could lose. Now, if the 7th seed is the Grizzlies, I'm 100% picking the Rockets. If the 7th seed is the somehow the Canes, or actually, sorry, the Canes and Mavs can't get it. It's only Golden State or Memphis. If it's the Grizzlies, I'm 100% picking the Rockets. I would probably say sweep, honestly, but maybe in 5. I would say in 4, but maybe the Grizzlies get a game. But again, I have it as the Warriors. This is a very tough pick for me. I think at minimum, regardless of which team wins the series, it's going 6. Um, I maybe this is controversial. I'm gonna pick the Warriors, and I'm probably gonna be pulling for the Rockets. My old guy Ime, Rockets are a fun team to watch, super respectable, energetic, fun team. Very young team too. Um, yeah, I just think the experience factor, and some people say that isn't a factor. I believe it is. I think the experience factor, especially the Warriors, knowing that they don't have too much time left, right? Steph's getting up there. He's, I believe, 37. Jimmy Butler's kind of getting up there. Draymond's obviously up there in age. They know that their core guys are not going to have too many playoff runs left in them. Their experience, I think, maybe in crunch time that'll come into play. Maybe they handle crunch time better than the inexperienced Rockets. But the Rockets, I think, are going to play him close. Again, I have the Warriors in 6, but I would not be too shocked if the Rockets won. And I actually am interested to see the line if this matchup happens. If I had to guess, see now, I mentioned in the podcast with Dylan earlier that I think the Warriors would be favored. And then he said he thinks the Rockets would be favored. And then I thought about it a bit more. I'm like, yeah, actually, he's probably right. The Rockets, I think, would be favored. But I think if, even though the Rockets would be favored, if the Rockets Warriors match up, I honestly believe most people would pick the Warriors. And I don't mean to disrespect the Rockets. Obviously, they had an incredible year, 2 seed in the West. They were 500 last year. Now they had 50. How many wins did the Rockets get? Yeah, 52 wins. So that's a really good season for the Rockets. But yeah, I'm just gonna trust the Warriors a bit more with the experience being a big factor in this one. Check my notes here. Okay. Yes, moving over to the East. Cavs Pacers in the semis. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Now, I'm picking the Cavs. I have the Cavs in 6, but I think the Pacers are going to cause some serious problems with the Cavs. The Cavs, I didn't mention it when I was talking about the 8 seed matchup with them, which again, I'm going to assume the 8 seed based off my play-in predictions is the Hawks. But the Cavs have kind of come back down to earth a bit the past maybe month or so. They've been playing, at least for a few weeks, been playing around 500 basketball. Maybe you can argue they hit the 1 seed, not mathematically clinched till a couple games left, but pretty much clinched. So maybe they just took it easy. They were practicing some things. They were saving some things to the playoffs. They want to show some things on tape. Maybe you can make that argument, but I don't really think so. And the Pacers are red hot. The Cavs maybe come back down to earth a bit. And the Pacers just I mean, we saw last year that no one expect. Okay, I shouldn't say no one. Most people expected them to lose to the Bucks, and again, they caught some injury breaks. They ended up beating the Bucks. Most people assumed the Knicks were going to beat them, and picked the Knicks to beat them, and they beat the Knicks. And now, no one really expected them to beat Celtics, but again, we swept them, but it was extremely. All four games are close. I think we won game two by a decent margin, but it was close throughout it, and we pulled away late. But the other three games were extremely close. We should have lost game one, but that Jaylen Brown three absolutely bailed us out there, and the Pacers turned it over twice within 30 seconds, completely screwed them too. But again, getting off topic here. But yeah, I'm picking the Cavs in six, but I think the Pacers could give them some problems. I think maybe this is a little bold. I think the Pacers going to have one blowout victory in this series over the Cavs. And then I think the rest of the games will probably be close. I know I keep saying that each team in a six-game series is probably going to have one blowout win, and the rest of the game is going to be close. But that's just kind of how I see it. Yeah, maybe some shootout, a lot of shootouts in this playoff series. Two good offenses, especially the Pacers. I would not be completely shell shocked if the Pacers won this series. Obviously, I'm picking the Cavs to win in six, but I wouldn't be too shocked if the Pacers went on to win this series. This is going to be a very entertaining series if it happens, which obviously I feel strongly about the Cavs moving on to the semis, and I feel fairly confident the Pacers will. So obviously that happens. You know, unlike the NFL where it depends on the other seeds, it's just going to be Cavs playing the winner of Pacers Bucks. But yeah, anyway, I had the Cavs moving on. I just trust them more. They're the better team this year. Yeah, I'm just going to give them the edge, but that'll be a very entertaining series, in my opinion. Switching sides here, Thunder Clippers. This could be an entertaining series. I'm picking the Thunder. The Thunder, let me look at my notes here. Yeah, they swept the Clippers this year. They went 4-0 versus the Clippers. Now, again, you don't want to base too much off the regular season, and the Thunder swept a lot of people. They won, as I mentioned earlier, freaking close to 70 games. But the Clippers are playing red hot right now, and the Thunder have been pretty much red hot all season. After that bad Lakers blowout, they kind of went on a not a cold streak, but they lost the game prior to that, I believe, too, and then they lost the Lakers, and they lost like two games, like 15 plus, like the first time we'll see something like that. But not that they went on a cold streak. I think they're on a 4-game win streak now, actually, to end the year. But yeah, Clippers been red hot, but I just think the Thunder match up extremely well with the Clippers. I think the Clippers will get a game. I could see the Thunder in 5. I kind of went the safe route and gave the Clippers 2 games, even though I absolutely could see Thunder in 5. So I have the Thunder moving on in 6 games. It wouldn't, even though I just said I could see the Thunder gentlemen sweeping the Clippers in 5. It wouldn't shock me if the Clippers ended up winning this series, but it would probably surprise me a little bit. I'm fairly confident with the Thunder making to the Western Conference Finals. Then moving over here, yep, picking my team to beat the Knicks. As I was just talking about, I called the Knicks the fraud York Knicks. We own the Knicks. We swept them this season. We lost 1 game to them last season, and it was when we had the best record in the league clinched, and we weren't playing for anything, and they ended up beating us in Boston at the end of the year. I believe they're 1-9 in the last 10 games against us. Something like that. I believe it's 1-9. It could be wrong. Maybe 2-8, something like that. Regardless, awful. We have owned them the past 2 seasons. I have us in 5. Now, if Jaylen Brown is not 100%, that's gonna concern me a bit. I think we'll probably get like 2 blowout wins. I think the Knicks will probably get a close win. Maybe they blow us out 1 game. They just have a hot shooting night, something like that. They get a close, probably more. I think if they do win a game, which I think they will, it'll be a close win. Then we'll probably have some close win. So yeah, I think we'll have maybe 2 blowout wins over the Knicks, and then we will have two kind of close wins against the Knicks, and then the Knicks will have a close win against us. I have us in 5. The only way I think the Knicks possibly beat us is, again, if something unforeseen happens, like an injury. And again, Jaylen Brown's hurt. Hopefully he's good to go. Obviously, he doesn't seem like he's 100% the way he's been playing. He just got the injection in his knee. So I'm honestly growing a bit concerned, but I'm going to be optimistic and hope he's good to go. I have us in 5 over the Knicks. And again, Lakers Warriors. I kind of mentioned it earlier that I wish this happened in the first round. This can go honestly either way for me. Now, this is weird. I could see the Lakers easily handling the Warriors and maybe winning in 5, but I could see the Warriors really pushing the Lakers too. And maybe this thing goes 7. I could see that too. I am going to pick the Lakers. I have the Lakers in 6. I know I keep saying it's 6 for a lot of these games, but or a lot of these series rather. But I don't know. That's just the way I see it playing out, I guess. But yeah, I just think obviously we saw the Warriors beat them. And again, you don't want to base too much off the regular season, especially one matchup. But they've only played, I believe, one time since the. Actually, in my notes I have that they played 2 times since the Luka trade. They split. That that seems wrong though. I want to say they only played once, but in my notes I have it twice that they split. I know the Warriors won. I want to say the most recent matchup, and the Lakers didn't look too good. People were talking about that the Warriors exposed the Lakers coming out of that game. But yeah, I just trust the Lakers more. I think LeBron and Luka are going to obviously be a problem for the Warriors. And I will say though that the Lakers and the Warriors matched up 2 years ago. I think this Lakers team is better than they were 2 years ago when they beat the Warriors, but I also think this Warriors team is better than the Warriors team 2 years ago when the Lakers upset them. But my point is, what was the problem for that series for the Warriors? A big factor, Anthony Davis and the size. Well, what don't the Lakers have now? Not only do they not have Anthony Davis, they don't have a center. The Mark Davis trade, or hang on, I'm getting my notes mixed up here. Yeah, the trade got vetoed, or not vetoed. He failed the physical, and hang on, I'm getting my notes all mixed up here. Give me 1 second to sort myself out. Okay, yeah, here we go. I think I said the Mark Davis trade by accident. Mark Williams trade, that's what I meant. Get my freaking notes all mixed up. Sorry about that. That is going to come to bite the Warriors. I don't know if I don't think I mentioned this in this video. I know I mentioned the podcast, but it's going to come to bite the Lakers. I mean, sorry, I'm all over the place here. But yeah, that is going to come to bite the Lakers. But if they would have had him, they would have had the size advantage. But they're kind of even in terms of size. The Lakers not having a center. Obviously the Warriors play Looney, who I think is actually pretty underrated. But yeah, the Lakers really don't have a center. So this could be an interesting matchup. I think, I have the Lakers in 6. I definitely could see the Warriors winning. I just think the Lakers are the better team. They're more consistent. Even though I could see the Warriors winning, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm going to lean Lakers here and have them in the conference finals. Okay, final 4 here. Cavs Celtics. I think this is pretty much everyone's unanimous Eastern Conference Finals pick. Anything other than that, I think people would be shocked, and it would be some major upset or injury, something like that. Which obviously, again, I keep mentioning it, but you don't want an injury to happen, obviously. Now, I definitely think the Cavs out of the East give us the best shot or rather, they had the best shot at upsetting us if any team is going to beat us. And again, for the regular season, we split. We actually ended their 15-0 start to the season. They were missing some guys. Then the next game, we were missing some guys. They ended up coming back to win that game. Then the next game, I want to say we were fully healthy. I think we were missing either Porzingis or Holiday, one of the two. I don't remember exactly which one. We were missing one of them, I believe. I think at least we won. and then we were up 25-2 or 25-3, and we ended up blowing that game. But we didn't have Porzingis or Holiday that game, so we split 2-2 with them. I think their double big lineup could cause some issues for us with Mobley and Allen. But obviously Porzingis causes issues for everyone. He can obviously we're a massive 3-point shooting team. We made the most threes in NBA history 3 seasons in a row. We broke our own freaking record for Christ's sake. But Porzingis can stretch the floor. Horford can stretch the floor. Pretty much everyone in our normal rotation except Luke Kornet can shoot the three at an efficient level. And Porzingis could be a beast in the post. Obviously, with the double big lineup, that probably isn't going to happen, but get one of the bigs out of the paint by having Porzingis at the top of the key. He likes to shoot deep threes. Again, I think the Cavs could give us a good shot, but I'm fairly confident, barring injury and just hoping Jaylen Brown's at an efficient level, that we're going to win the series. I have us winning this in 6. And again, I keep mentioning experience. Now that we're the experienced team that won the championship, we've been to 2 finals, this core. Obviously the Celtics, the franchise has been to a lot more than 2, but we have one more than the Lakers, 18. Hopefully we get 19 this year. But like this core this is going to be the second finals appearance they make it. Well, actually, this will be the 3rd finals appearance, 2 in a row, obviously. But my point is, we have more deep playoff experience than the Cavs. Maybe that could come into play here. I just like the way we match up with the Cavs. We weren't healthy when any of the games we played them, I don't believe, except the first one. And we still split with them. And the Cavs weren't, I think, at least 2 of the games. I know at least one of the games, I believe 2, they were missing some guys. The first matchup, they were pretty banged up. The in-season tournament matchup. Yeah, I think we match up fairly well with the Cavs. We match up well with pretty much any team in the league. But yeah, I feel fairly confident. My gut's telling me we'll beat the Cavs. And I feel good about that. Now, Donovan Mitchell absolutely torches us. He averages like over 30 points per game. I think it's like 30 point something points per game against us. Obviously, that's going to be a problem, but again, he did that, and they still only won 2 out of the 4. So is he going to be able to sustain that for 7 games? And also, we were historically good on the road this season. We were 1 game short of tying the Warriors record for the most wins on the road in a single season. We set the franchise record, and we're going to be on the road for this series. To start it at least, and then obviously if it goes 5 or 7, then those 2 games will be in Cleveland. But I have us winning in 6. I actually feel decent about that, us winning in 6. I'm fairly confident we're going to get through the East and back to the finals as long as injuries don't, affect our run. Okay, Thunder Lakers for the Western Conference Finals. This is an extremely hard matchup for me. The whole year since the preseason, I had Thunder Celtics in the finals. Now I had the Celtics as the 1 seed. Both the Thunder and Celtics as the 1 seed. Obviously the Thunder are the 1 seed. The Celtics are the 2 seed. Now I was sticking with that the entire year, and ever since the Lakers blew the Thunder out, I kind of was honestly maybe tempted to pick the Lakers, and I've been back and forth on the Thunder or Lakers going to win. Been back and forth on it, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm picking the Thunder to go to the finals. Now, if this goes 7, I think the Lakers will win. I really do not want to count out LeBron and Luka in a game 7 against the inexperienced Thunder. The Thunder are extremely young. Are they going to really beat LeBron and Luka in the conference finals? That's kind of concerning me. I think the Lakers match up pretty well with the Thunder. But the Thunder also match up well with everyone, pretty much. Just like I was talking about with my team, the Celtics. The Thunder match up well with everyone. Let me look at my notes here. They went 2-1 versus the Lakers. And again, the second victory, they only played twice after the Luka trade. Obviously, I just mentioned the Lakers blew them out the first time. And then the second matchup, the Lakers, it was... I want to say it was either tied or the Lakers were up like 1 or 2, and then that was when Luka got tossed and the Thunder went on a run to end the game. They won. I believe they probably would have lost that game if Luka didn't get ejected. So the Newark Lakers very well could be 2-0 against the Thunder, but again, that's a hypothetical. We're just gonna go off what happened. I am picking the Thunder, but I would not all be surprised if the Lakers win. I definitely think that at minimum this series goes 6, regardless of which team wins. Very tempted to pick the Lakers. Not that I want to as a Celtics fan, but yeah, I'm picking the Thunder. I'm just gonna go with my gut from the preseason and have the Thunder in the finals here. Now I will say, unfortunately, this is a part of the game. The NBA is a business. Now, what team is the NBA going to want in the finals? The small market Thunder or the Lakers? Now, obviously, it's the Lakers. A, because it's the Los Angeles Lakers. And B, LeBron and Luka are a part of the Lakers. So they're going to want the Lakers in the finals. So maybe watch out for some bad refereeing favoring the Lakers in this series. Again, I really wish this wasn't a part of the game, but we got to watch out for it. Also, the playoffs get increasingly, they talk about the playoff whistle. The playoffs get increasingly, more physical, and the refs kind of let more and more things go without blowing the whistle. Now, what is the Thunder, their best player, SGA's big notion? He's a free throw merchant, right? Maybe they're not going to give him as many calls. Maybe that affects him. Especially when the Lakers blew them out, the SGA only shot I want to say 2 free throws or something like that. So it's very low compared to the amount he normally takes. So maybe that's how this series is going to be officiated the whole time if this matchup happens. So watch out for that. But anyway, I'm picking the Thunder. Now, I would be lying if I said the Thunder do not scare me. The Thunder scare the shit out of me. Not scared of the Magic or Hawks, not scared of the Knicks. Cavs, I'm a little not scared, but I'm a little bit weary of, but I'm fairly confident. The Thunder scare the shit out of me. Now, we played them twice this season. They beat us both times. The past couple seasons, we split with them. The past 2 seasons prior to this one, we split with them. And they have blown us out. I know 2 years ago they had we had one bad loss. We put up 150 on us. We lost by 31 or something like that on the road in Oklahoma City. And then even the first matchup, we had to come from behind and win. And the Thunder 2 seasons ago were not nearly the team they are now. They were fighting in the play-in tournament there. But yeah, the Thunder scare the shit out of me. They match up well with everyone, and again, so do we. But it felt like both matchups we played against in the season, whenever we got anything going, they forced some stops defensively. They caused some issues for us defensively. They got some things going offensively. It just felt like we were playing behind and they were the better team both games. Plain as simple as that. I know the second one I don't believe we had Porzingis for the second one, but still, they and I know they didn't have Jalen Williams either for that one. But yeah, it just felt like they were the better team in both those games, and they outplayed us both those games. Now, I honestly think this is close to a coin flip. However, one factor I think is going to be absolutely critical is experience. Now, again, you can argue is experience or inexperience even an argument. Again, I think it is, as I've talked about throughout this video, broke down these playoff matchups and mentioned it in some of them. The Thunder are the youngest team in the league, period, I'm pretty sure. I know certainly in the playoffs. If they make the finals, I heard a stat that they would be, or if they win the finals, they would be by far the youngest team to do so. So obviously this team does not have finals experience. We do. Now, this experience-wise reminds me of my team 3 years ago in the finals against the Warriors. It was our first finals. Now, we had more deep playoff runs than the Thunder do at this point, their core at least, their current core. But it was our first finals. We were up 2-1. Game 4, we're at home, chance to go up 3-1. Now, not that this is a hot take, of course, but if we go up 3-1, I think we win the finals. We're up. Game 4 is at home in Boston. We're up late, and then in crunch time, we couldn't make anything to save our lives, pretty much. The Warriors, Klay Thompson made a clutch three. And after that, in crunch time, we struggled offensively. The Warriors went on a bit of a run. They ended up winning the game. I know Derek White talked about after that point when it was 2-2, we kind of blew our chance to go 3-1. They felt like we kind of just blew, not the series because it was 2-2 at that point, but we just blew a great chance to really put a stranglehold on the series. Game 5, we went on an insane run in the third quarter, and the Warriors in the fourth quarter, they were up 1 because Jordan Poole made a friggin' stupid half-court shot to put them at 1 at the end of the third quarter when we were down 12 into the third quarter. We went on an insane run. And it was a 1-point game in the fourth quarter, 2-2. If we win, we're going back to Boston, up 3-2, chance to win the title. And what happened? We collapsed in crunch time. Warriors went on a big run. They won. We got off to a good start in game 6. Then the Warriors went on a 2-0 run, if I remember, and we just couldn't battle back. We cut into it late, but it just wasn't enough. Poor Al Horford played his heart out that game. Love Al Horford, my favorite player. But anyway, didn't mean to get on a tangent here. My point is, I think this is going to be the opposite. The Thunder, this is their first deep playoff run. I know they made the semis last year, and again, this current core of the team. They are going to be in their first finals, if my bracket holds up. This is going to be our core's third, or, well, technically a third, but Porzingis and Holiday second. Now it's the opposite. Now we're the team with the experience, and the Thunder are the team with the inexperience. So I think it very well could play out this way, that maybe it's 2-1, 1-1, critical 2-2, something like that. Critical game. The Thunder are up late, and maybe on the road. Game 5, let's just say it's 2-2, for example, and they're in a similar position. They can go up 3-2, and the inexperience kicks in. We go on a run late, and we end up taking a definitive hold, not a stranglehold, but a definitive hold on the series. I could see a couple games playing out like that in our favor, and I think that's what's going to be the difference. So I have us winning the championship and repeating. Now, of course, sorry, I'm getting a text here. Of course, I'm a Celtics fan, so maybe you can say I'm a bit biased. But I feel good about us getting at least to the finals. Would not at all be surprised if the Thunder won. I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think this is close to a coin flip. And the Thunder have looked better than us in the 2 matches we played. So that concerns me a bit. If Jaylen Brown is not 100% and he's not playing too great, I'm going to be even more concerned. But I think the experience is going to come in for us, and the Thunder's inexperience. The late game situations are going to benefit us now that we've been here and experienced the inexperience, so to speak, and the Thunder have not yet. I think that's going to be a factor for us. We went through the inexperience. We learned from the pains, the growing pains, and now it's going to benefit us. I also could see that factor playing out with the Cavs, maybe going to a run in crunch time, the Cavs inexperience shows, things like that. It's kind of exactly what happened with the Pacers last year. Crunch time, what happened? The Pacers were up in games 1, 3, and 4, and they blew it. It's like they forgot how to play basketball the last couple minutes, and we just dominated in crunch time. Not that I don't think the Thunder are going to do that, but I could see like a similar situation playing out, if that makes any sense. So would not at all be surprised if the Thunder win and beat us. I think if the Thunder do win and beat us, it would probably be in 6. I don't think either of us win in anything less than 6. Maybe 5, but that's pushing it for us. I think at minimum we'll at least win 2 games. I think at minimum the Thunder win 2, but maybe 1, but that's too disrespectful. I'm going to give the Thunder 2 games. I could see it going 7. That environment in OKC, chance to win a championship. Very realistic chance. Obviously, in 2012 when they made it, the Baby Thunder, they have much more of a chance than they do now compared to that team. That college environment. I mean, the regular season, that fan base, like a college environment. I can't even imagine hosting a finals game with a chance to win. Uh, Obviously, Boston, maybe I'm biased. I think we're the best fans in the world. That arena is going to be going crazy like it normally is, the TD Garden. But yeah, I honestly, not that I want the Lakers in the finals, and I think we match up extremely well with the Lakers. I think if the Lakers make the finals over the Thunder and it's us and the Lakers, I honestly think we win in five. Maybe okay, maybe six, maybe five. Um, Honestly, I would. Mm, okay, maybe the spit bold. I would say five, but I kind of want to say six. But I'll say five because we own Luka. Going back to the finals last year when we played them post Luka trade, he had a good stat line, but I mean we were poking the ball loose. We were all over him. We were taking advantage of him on defense. Uh, so there's that. And then here's another thing: the Mark Williams trade getting canceled basically because he failed the physical. That would really kill the Lakers against us because we would just post Porzingis up and he would absolutely feast. And the Thunder, or that the Lakers rather, would have to either just hope he misses, the defender makes a play, or they're going to have to double, which means someone's open. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we have everyone in our rotation is an efficient 3-point shooter, with the exception of Luke Kornet, who doesn't shoot threes. So that would be an absolute killer for the Lakers. I think we win in five. So honestly, I kind of hope the Lakers make the finals over the Thunder because I think we match up far better with the Lakers than we do the Thunder. But regardless, I'm picking us over the Thunder. And again, it makes me sick to want the Lakers in the finals. Not that I want them to. I just think we match up better, and I would be more comfortable with them in the finals compared to the Thunder. For the tiebreaker, how many points the Finals MVP score in the playoffs? I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark here. I'm gonna say Tatum is the Finals MVP. I think he'll be on a mission, especially this postseason. Especially if Brown is hurt, maybe he's gonna have to step up his scoring a little bit, his production a little bit. Uh, Obviously he's gonna be on a mission. He didn't win it last year, nor did he win Eastern Conference Finals MVP. I know he won it. We went to the finals in 22. Um, he, I, yeah, yeah, okay, he did. I was thinking maybe Brown won it, but no, Tatum won it. Um, Obviously he's gonna want a Finals MVP. You know, you can make an argument he should have won it last year over Brown, but yeah, I was just so happy we won the title. I didn't really give a shit. I was just happy for Brown because I love him. Obviously, love Tatum, but I think this is. I think if we win the finals, Tatum's going to be the Finals MVP. Basically, the total points. What I did was I just assumed Tatum. I think I had him at like 28, 29, one of the two points. I think 28 points a game, and I multiplied it by 17. That's the amount of games you have. I have us in if you add up all these series, and so basically that total it comes out to 476 points. Obviously, there's a lot more ways to a lot more productive ways to do it, I'm sure, but I'm sure my bracket's going to be blown up. It's going to be far from perfect, so I'm not really relying on the tiebreaker too much here, not putting too much thought into it. But yeah, the East I'm fairly confident with. I would be surprised, I mentioned earlier, as if when most people, if it's not us and the Cavs in the conference finals in the East. The West is completely different, though. I could see the Thunder making it. Obviously, I have them making. I have them winning the West in the finals. Uh, Coming up short to us, though. Hopefully, if that happens. I don't think it's too far fetched to say the Clippers could win the West, make it to the finals. I certainly think the Lakers could make it. I don't think it's too far fetched to say the Warriors could. The Nuggets, I don't think they can win the West, but I very well think they could beat the Clippers, as I mentioned. David Adelman's done a great job, 3-0 interim head coach. Yeah, again, Thunder, Clippers, Lakers, Warriors. I think those teams could realistically win the West. Uh, yeah, then the East, Pacers kind of the team to watch out for. Maybe the Pistons. That'd be fun if the Pistons upset them. We could play them in round two. That'd be a fun matchup. they blew us out earlier in the year. That was not a great game. And then even, at the start of the year, I remember it was game 3. We had to come back late against them. Don't exactly remember the other matchups, but top of my head. But yeah, fun playoff bracket here. So yeah, again, as I mentioned earlier, I recreated this in Excel, so you can see all the details. So again, the West, I had the green means I had them winning. So I had the Warriors winning over the Grizzlies, the Kings winning over the Mavs, and the Grizzlies winning the 8 seed play-in. East, I had Magic beating the Hawks, Bulls beating the Heat, and the Hawks beating the Bulls to get to the 8 seed play-in. Then my bracket is replicated. I just wrote in how many games it would take each team, and again, I wrote Finals MVP Tatum. I guess I'll write his 476 points here, just for fun. Um, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Feel free to comment your thoughts, your on my bracket, your picks, all that good stuff. I'm very excited for the playoffs. Uh, as a Celtics fan, it just felt like this season is dragged now that we won the title last year. And it felt like that for the players too. We had multiple patches felt like, where the players just were kind of flat. They weren't playing too great, just stuck in the mud, it felt like. Then we've really turned it on the past couple months, really post All-Star break. But I think the players were just kind of biding their time, just stuck in the mud until they turn up the intensity post All-Star break, it felt like. So yeah, they're obviously going to be excited. Just a lot of exciting matchups, a lot of potential. The West is a gauntlet. The East could be interesting in some matchups. So yeah, a lot of fun here. But yeah, I will end this video here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in. Uh, technically the playoffs don't start till Saturday, but again, I consider the play in the playoffs, even though I'm not a fan of the play-in at all. Was fine with it during COVID and the year after because the year got shortened, but now I think it's just ridiculous. It just messes things up. Just a cash grab, which obviously, I'm gonna watch it. Everyone's gonna watch it, so it works. But I just wish we knew the 7 and 8 seeds immediately. And again, you can argue it goes against it helps teams like, not sit starters if they're bordering on the play-in, resting, things like that, make it more entertaining. But I wish it wasn't a thing now. Like to me, like the Mavericks and the Kings should not be fighting for a chance at the playoffs, multiple games below 500, for example. Um, the Spurs a couple years ago, I think they had 30 something wins and they were fighting in the play-in. Like really? No disrespect to the Spurs and Pop, of course. But anyway, I don't mean to get too off topic here. I will end the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Enjoy the playoffs, and thank you guys for tuning in. Take it easy, guys.